Hello and welcome. I tell you, it's a great, great pleasure to have a most wonderful panel of, I was going to say gentlemen, but only one gentleman, fortunately. People who I really admire. And we are, all of us here at IIM Bangalore, most beautiful campus I've seen from around the world. And I've been to many campuses in many countries in the world. And let me tell you, this is world class. And of course, students are world class or not? Anybody willing to say no? Murthy, brighter than us?
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
It's a bit of a problem, right?
No, I think this is the way it should be, because each generation should be smarter than the previous one.
But you're going to have tough questions from them now.
Well, I'm quite prepared to be seen as stupid, so...
Okay, let's get on with the broad topic that we want to discuss. Where is our country going? The economy, the budget is just coming. What would you like to see in this budget? But first, Anu, I'd like to ask you, and then take questions from all of you on the broad issue of, is this budget only about the middle class and taxes and exemption rates and the rich? Or is there more in our economy and our growth that we should be focusing on?
I do hope we are not focusing only on people like us here. And if we see, there is a real two Indias. There is one with wealth and power, and the other without opportunities, facing a blank wall and growing despair. And I think this is not sustainable if our economic growth does not touch the poor. Social stability in the long run will not be there.
Right.
So I think this is unhealthy. So I hope we don't, or if we focus, it's not tokenism or for votes. We do a lot of things for votes, the wrong things, like subsidies,
right,
which hasn't helped really, because after so many years, I'll give you just a few examples. Malnourishment has not gone down. In fact, from 96 to 2011, our hunger index has worsened.
Yes.
If you see...
But I just want to ask you on that particular
sure.
point, and bring Murthy also in, and Kiran. On that particular point, therefore, are you saying, Murthy, we shouldn't be focusing on growth and only focus on malnutrition?
No, I don't think these two are zero-sum games. We have to focus on growth. We have to focus on social equity and justice and inclusivity. But these two primarily belong to two different playing arenas. Growth, by and large, comes from the private sector, by and large, in most countries. On the other hand, equity, fairness, justice, they come from public governance system. So while I agree with Anu 100% that we have to make sure that the poorer sections of the society also benefit from all of this, that task is the responsibility primarily of public governance system, and therefore we have to do whatever is necessary to ensure that the efficiency, the effectiveness, the transparency, fairness and accountability of the public governance system.
Right. Before I come to the students, and raise your hands when you want to ask a question. Kiran, I wanted to ask you, we're talking about government policy, and a lot of it affects the middle classes and the upper middle classes. And in a way, we have developed a society which is socialism for the rich and rampant capitalism for the poor. It actually should be the other way around. So when we talk about government policy now, it's geared to the upper classes. How do we make sure that when the government focuses on welfare, it is efficiently done, there's no leakages, and the money that everybody pays in taxes is properly spent?
Basically, I think none of these things are either mutually exclusive or mutually inclusive for that matter. And as Murthy just said, I think each one has to be looked at in a very different way, because both have to basically be aligned to deliver growth. But on the other hand, I think what we need to do is to take a holistic view of what works in terms of, say, making sure that public governance is meted out in a very optimal way.
Right.
You know, I'd like to really use the healthcare ecosystem as a good example.
Right.
As a country, we don't even have the semblance of a national healthcare system. Okay? You know, I just want to briefly refer to what China has done very recently. China has allocated $120 billion for healthcare, okay? Of which half has been utilized for bringing 800 million people under a micro health insurance system. This has seen people spend $38 per head on healthcare as compared to just $9 in 2007. So it has made a big difference.
Yeah.
This has created a healthcare industry in China of $40 billion, which is supposed to go up to $100 billion in 3 years' time. Now in India, we have the semblance of micro health insurance schemes in a very sporadic way in various state governments.
You're talking about healthcare, but I think Anu, and we'll come to you about education and other aspects. So if I can get questions on what Anu called the two Indias, and I think I just took over from that and said socialism for the rich and capitalism for the poor. What do you, for any questions for the panel on what can be done to rectify this problem?
My question is mainly to all three of you. When we are talking about welfare schemes, and as Mr. Murthy pointed out, that it's primarily the responsibility of the public government system. Lately, because of these prevalent inefficiencies in the public government system, we have been talking about public-private partnership a lot, and how that model can be brought into upliftment of the poorer sections of the society. So as business heads, I would like to understand what you people think of this model. Can that go a long way?
Anu, would you like to take that? How do we get these two Indias to converge?
Yeah. I agree with Narayan that the basic responsibility to uplift the poor is with the government. And one of the ways we can facilitate this is by public-private partnership, which has been very successful in health. Kiran has done a few things. In education, we have done a few things. But where I feel the individuals have to be responsible is being a little sensitive. I think we are completely unaware of the other India, or we pretend it doesn't exist. And the ostentatious living, the ostentatious weddings which we have, and self-absorption which we have, it's gone beyond limits. So I feel, and we have to demand from government that what are they doing for the poor? The poor are not capable of demanding this.